Now it's not. Now I have to connect to my internet. Sometimes the Windows thing it usually finds it without having me do anything. Oh, no, this thing's not connecting. Come on. I'm going to fucking start cursing soon. You got to be kidding me. It did this last week, and now...
Good morning, Roy.
Howdy. How's my mic sound?
Your mic's okay. It's a little hot. I'm gonna bring it down just a hair.
Okay, got it. Sorry about that.
All right. Roy, go ahead and say something again.
Oh, what the fool I...
Yep. Okay, that sounds good. How was your week?
Oh, mine?
Well, either one of you.
Oh, you know what? Actually, pretty good. Actually, it was an uneventful week. I work as a caretaker, so it was pretty good. And it's getting cold here in New York. Yeah, it's like, which I'm kind of glad. It was getting like today. It's like 32, so with the wind, but it was a quiet week. No complaints.
Yeah, it got down into the 50s this morning, which I mean,
that's high coffees, right?
That's cool for Florida in November.
Wow.
Which is nice. I like that too. The only problem is the last 36 hours, it's been all like just gray skies.
So it's like a fall day. That's how it was the other day. You know what? It's funny you said that. It's like the other day, it was Thursday. I was coming home from work, and it had that gray like cloud. I said, fall is here. I kind of like the winter more than summer, I think, as I got older.
I like the fall and winter, but I like it if it's sunny outside and cool. I don't like it when it's gray outside because everything just looks...
Oh, yeah.
Everything looks so muted and washed out. I like having the color.
Yeah. Oh, I hear the music going through the Roll20. That's what you probably put on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Whoa. Okay.
I feel like we're playing,
like an 8-bit.
Yeah.
Yep, this one is, this one is an 8-bit theme.
You know what I just picked up? I picked up, whatchamacallit, I ordered, I didn't get it, Castles and Crusades, the Player's Handbook. Somebody said for me to pick it up. So they say it's like based on the original, what Gygax had intended, like after, I guess after 2.5 or whatever it was, 3 of them. Didn't get it yet, though.
What's that game that had, like Loki or what?
Loki, I'm trying to, was it for Nintendo or?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm guessing it was a role-playing game.
maybe Sonic the Hedgehog.
Okay, that's Sega. I'm not sure. I mean, Loki would be with Thor then, I would imagine, right? Is that?
Yeah, the
Was
one
it
where the guy ran around and shot his bow and all that stuff.
I'm trying to think now. I had Sega, so I'm trying to think. So I'm guessing it was a platform action game, I'm guessing?
Yeah, but it's probably been before your time.
Oh,
I mean,
was that Gauntlet? Gauntlet?
No, before that even. It's when I was...
Wizards of War? I remember that being in the arcade with a... I don't know if that was an arrow or a gun, though. I remember playing Wizards of War by my arcade.
All right. I think now that we have a few people here, we can go ahead and cut off the background music. I haven't heard anything from LC. I presume he will be here. And maybe, speak of the devil, that might have been him. Oh, no, that was Three Wolf. Okay. Hey, Three Wolf. How you doing?
Morning.
Good morning. Okay, go ahead and get logged into Roll20 when you can, Three Wolf, and I will get a character for you. Three Wolf gets to be the guinea pig on the new way that I am introducing players to this game because of the difficulty we've had having people stick to it. I took the liberty during the week of rolling up a bunch of pre-generated characters. And the idea that I have is, I've fully given them all their stats, all their skills, all their armor, all their weapons, all their equipment, everything, and a small bit of spending money. And I am going to give one of those to a player when they first join us. And if that player sticks around for 2 or 3 sessions and they decide, hey, yeah, I want to keep playing this game, well, then at that point, I'll let them, I'll take the time to actually roll up a character with them once they know they're going to stick. And then we'll just transfer any XP they have earned over to that character they create, and any treasure or loot that they've gotten over to that character, and they can pick whatever, they can roll it up and like normal. But these pre-generated characters all have flat statistics. Every stat is an 11, so it just makes it easy. I can just make one a fighter, one a cleric, one a thief, one a magic user, whatever we need. And Sri Wolf, now that you are in roll, I am going to go ahead and I am going to pull one of these guys out onto the board. This is going to be, where's the, all right, and then I am going, no, he has 8, and he has, there's his armor class 5. Okay, so 8, 8, 5. All right, and then save to how do I do this? I need to edit this, and I need to give it to Sri Wolf, and it can be controlled by Sri Wolf. Okay. All right, Sri Wolf. And when you are logged in, you should now see a character with the totally random name of Uwo, Ouwoe. And that is a fighter.
Okay.
Currently, we do not have a fighter in the main party. So when you go to your journal, you should see a listing for him. You can click on him. It'll open up. You can look at the character sheet. You can see all the stats. You can see all of his equipment. You can see everything. Everybody is first level. This character is first level. As I just said, if you play a couple of sessions, decide you like this version of the game and that you want to continue playing, we'll make up a time outside of the game that you and I can get together and roll up a character that that's more personalized to you and has your own backstory and all this other kind of stuff. And the way I have you roll up characters, it's a good chance that you're going to have better primary stats than this character anyway. So I purposefully gave them stats that were not going to gimp them, but stats that weren't going to give them anything special either. Just so that it was quick for me and easy for people that are new to this version, since it is a really old version of the game. And with that, Sri Wolf, let's go ahead and give you an opportunity to introduce yourself to our other players, and I will introduce them to you, and then we will start our session. So welcome, Sri Wolf. Thanks for joining us today. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Sri Wolf. This is my game name that I've used for years and years. I haven't gamed since high school, to be honest. Since then, I found online gaming when I started doing I used to be an architect actually, and I started getting into computers, and then I started online gaming. And I did the whole World of Warcraft and all that shit. So now I'm kind of an old man, and I'm semi-retired. So I got a lot of time on my hands.
Okay.
And so I just been looking to get back into some of this stuff. I was a little leery of doing it online, but looking at this map, this really brings back some good memories. This is pretty cool. So just thought I'd give it a try. All right.
Okay.
Gal, I just have to step away 1 minute. I shall return. All right.
Well, since he's stepping away, Roy, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
My name is Roy, and don't call yourself an old man because I may be older than you. Well, I used to play through junior high school, quit when I was in college, but then picked it up a little bit after college. Haven't really done much past second edition, but I've played this edition, and it does get better when they get into AD&D and stuff like that, which I guess he's told you it's kind of the history, so we're going through it edition after edition. So it's kind of cool to learn about the old ways and what's going on after that and changes made. But anyway, yeah. So this is I just started 5th edition maybe a month ago now, so it's a lot of fun. I'm having fun on Roll20.
Okay, I'm back.
All right. Okay, Tony, that was perfect timing. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself a little bit, so Sri Wolf knows a little bit more about you.
Yep. I've been gaming since, I would say, about 1980. So I'm 50. So pretty much I was out of it for a few years. Then I got back into it about 10 years ago. So I'm actually playing in a local group in 5e just recently, which is okay, but I kind of like the older rules better. Because, you know, what's funny, guy? I was about 2 weeks ago, I was at the hobby store with the group. And I don't know if you guys played 5e. It's good, but it's like the newer players kind of like some of them scoff at the older rules. They think it's slower, which to me makes no sense because the game really hasn't changed that much story-wise. It's still just a role-playing game. It's like now it's just like more like skills and this and that. And it seems like the characters, I don't know, I could be wrong. You guys are playing since about, you're around my age or older. Would you say the game is more prevalent to the character now being like more of a superhero type? Like it seems like you just have the player character is a lot more powerful. I don't know. I mean, that's just the way. I mean, since my playing days, it seems like the game was better back in the early beginnings of it.
My personal opinion, I think what's happened is that the game has become much more survivable at low levels.
Yes. Yeah.
The back in the day, in this edition that we are playing, life was cheap, and a goblin with a rusty dagger could end your adventure real quick.
That was what's so cool about it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, if you made second or third level, now it's like I could be wrong. Maybe then I say to myself, is it? I don't think it's my age. I don't mean because age really has nothing to do with it. I'm trying to explain to the guys like you already know you can survive. There's no like reward. So you know what I equivalent to? You ever watch the kids now when you play? Because I used to play a lot of basketball, right? Now I used to coach with my brother, and it was like they always had to give an award to everybody. Is it just me? But it seems like everybody has to win. No, you don't win all the time. It seems like you have to survive. Because is that a way because they want to keep people playing the game? Maybe it's like the whole idea I thought was the low levels were the best in the campaign. I thought because.
Well, they are trying to, they tell it as, or they market the game as a collaborative storytelling, or a lot of the very popular streams that you see now, they really sort of have it like improv around the table. And so the idea is to get a character that people can start to identify with, and then you want to follow that character. So if the character comes in and in the first battle they die, it's like, okay, well, I can't really form a bond with that character. Well, we'll make another character, okay, and then that one dies. Okay, then you bring in another character. And so the idea with these persistent campaigns is you want they want the characters that start out to be able to make it all the way through. So in that respect, Tony, I think, it is a little bit more like a superhero, the superhero who overcomes all of the impossible odds and survives all of the unsurvivable dangers and still manages to make it through to become, the hero of their story.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I like 5e, but you know what I think it is? What thrilled me with your game is I think when you play with people who played back in the early day. I don't want to age us, but I mean, like I think you have to get a true perspective of the game. I think you have to play with people who played in the beginning to appreciate where it came from. Some of these guys, I was playing with a kid. He had to be in his 20s, and I don't mean it in any disrespect. He's like, he goes, I'm already going to be this and this and this and this on these levels. I says, yeah, but how do you know if you don't die? Oh, I ain't going to die. I says, and if you do, you just create another character. It's just like, he's already plotting out. And so it's like, come on. It's almost like, I'm going to take trigonometry before I do algebra. I mean, really? You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe, do you think I was telling this to one of my buddies. He's in his late 50s, and he would DM me, and he goes, and I talked to him on the phone. He goes, you know what it is? It's the younger generation. He says it's the millennial effect. Meaning what? Well, everybody has to win.
Well, it is.
Everybody has to get the award.
Yeah.
It's like
I think back in the day, there were modules. There were short campaigns. So it wasn't the end of the world if your character died.
No.
It was for that
Right.
campaign. You died in that campaign. Nowadays, it's long, drawn out campaigns. I remember my first game was in this edition. I made it to like maybe the second room, and I was playing a rogue, like I happen to be playing now. And I've lived years longer than I made the second room and died, and with 4 hit points, it wasn't too hard to do.
Yeah.
My game was over. I sat and watched everybody else play.
That happened to me in against the Giants. I died. My brother was DMing. I never forget that. He said, "All right, you're out of the game now." He says, "What do I do?" You got to sit and watch. But then he let me create a lower level character after like a couple of sessions and brought me back in. But not right away. Now today, when they die at the table, one kid died at the table, Galley 2 weeks ago. You know what he did? I got 4 guys made already. It's just, oh my God, just in case I go. It's like,
yeah.
That was like, and that was really never happening before. When characters died, it almost looked like we were gonna have like the last rites because he went ashen. Like this never happened before. It's like this used to happen all the time, man. So.
I think it's the characters become godlike, super powerful.
Yeah,
and back in the old days, AD&D, the monsters got much more powerful. And you're 15th level, and you come up against a demon or a devil or something, and he's going to kick your butt. You know, a dragon's going to kick your butt. But nowadays, it's like that's no bother. You know, we'll just heal up and. You know, it's just not a big thing. It's a big difference in now and then. You were feared for your life back in those days.
Yeah, and you like 5e, right? You've played it, right? I like it, but I don't like it as much as old school. I don't know. I like the simpler rules. I don't know. I just think it was better.
It's up to the DM to make 5e challenging.
You're right.
The best way to do it is to make like evil NPCs that have their own flock of henchmen. To make it difficult, so like other player characters, but they're the bad guys, you know.
Yeah,
that would make it challenging, you know. But that's not the only way in 5e because monsters are whips in 5e.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. And you know what was cool? I remember one of my friends he was a good DM. We used to play in the city. He used to always have he was a thinking type guy. Like he'd have a room if you wanted to get through. It was like a riddle room, and I was like, oh shit, how are we gonna get past this? If you didn't know it, you're not getting past it unless you find somebody who could solve it. So they had more like. You can really do a lot of different. I just, today I like the game. See, I'm playing it to expose myself to it, which I'm having fun. But I'm kind of getting a kick to myself watching them play. Like, how can you plot your 5th level if you're on 2nd? Really? Come on. It's like, you know what? Just enjoy 2nd level. I'm hoping I die. I said, I'm not going to die. Well, you could. You know what I didn't get, Gally? I don't know if you guys played. The only thing that's weird is you can make 3, I think, death saving throws or something like that. They call
Yes.
That was weird to me, which is.
Yeah, there's all these mechanics that are in the game now that are designed to keep your character from actually expiring. There are still things that are considered instant kills. And I'll never forget one night I was running a game at a hobby shop, 5th edition. And they walk into this module where it's called the Death House. And they go in and they get down to the basement. And there's this creature in there that's really probably overpowered for the module, but it was built in there. And it can do a smothering grapple attack where if it hits you twice, it basically pulls you into the middle of itself. And then it suffocates and smothers you and crushes you to death. And it can do enough damage that at first level it's just an instant kill. Wow. And one of the guys that had showed up for his very first session, he walks in there and he goes in there. He says, there's something weird about that big pile of refuse over in the corner. Okay, I'm going to go over and I'm going to poke it with my staff. All right, it attacks you, and I do the rolls. Ooh, 2 critical hits.
But that's fun, though. That's fun.
Yeah.
He's got to. I mean, come on. I remember getting killed by the Giants, and against the Giants, I was like, oh, man, I'm dead.
Yeah.
This is cool.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, Sri Wolf, what would you like us to call you? Because Devlin usually goes by Roy. Anthony usually goes by Tony. What do you want us to call you in the game?
My name is Jesse.
Jesse. Okay. I am Ken or DM Galabond. Like you, I've used this Galabond tag for gaming since forever, and in one of the other games that I run, we do have a player named Ken, so everybody just calls me Galabond in that game because then that way they know it's, or they just say, "Hey DM," and I'll answer to that too, or GDDM or whatever. Want to catch you up a little bit to speed on where they are. Everybody is still first level. They have spent a full game day out adventuring away from the village. And in that time, they managed to break up a ring of bandits that was hiding out in an some old ruins outside of town. And they brought the miscreants into justice. And those guys are now rotting in the town prison, presumably, awaiting their trial. And this is the second day after that. And they have been going around trying to find out their next steps. There's a possibility that if the party successfully cleans out the entire ruins, not only of the bandits, but of anything else that may live there, that they might have the opportunity to get the deed to the old place and be able to start using it as a base of operations. So they're going to visit the village elder right now. The village elder is in conversation with a gentleman named Lord Rufus, who is a relatively new resident in the hamlet of Dedale. And if you explore around this rather large town map, you'll see an outline of a new keep that is being built. That is the keep that Lord Rufus and his former adventuring companion, his most worshipful mage, Byrne, are actually constructing in the town because of they have decided to retire from adventuring. Lord Rufus is taking it on himself to try to help whip the militia, the village militia, into shape, and he's apparently talking with the village elder about that. And you all are just coming up to the compound. So I'm going to once again center us all on the map so we can see where the action is. And we will begin. So Devlin, as you all head in towards the you see the gate to the side yard of the village elder's house is open. You see a couple of horses out there, and you can see a nice gazebo out in his yard. And he is sitting there with a man who, by reputation and by description, you recognize even from this distance as Lord Rufus. So they're talking, and Lord Rufus is saying something to the effect of, "Well, Elder, I have been reviewing the troops from the village militia, and I find that their training is quite lacking. In fact, out of all of the men who are volunteers with the militia, I could only find 5 who are proficient with both the bow and the sword. And I am thinking about, with your permission, I am thinking about asking them to be squadron leaders and having them help to train some of the other men on the uses of the particular weapons. What do you think?" And the village elder says, "Well, that's a little bit distressing that you would find we were so lacking. Of course, here in Dedale, we haven't had that many that many outside threats in quite a long time. The last one was probably that unpleasantness nearly a decade ago with Bargle, and so the men who have served now have not really had to be trained up so well. But if you think it's necessary, then yes, perhaps we should have some men. And then he appears to look over and sees you guys kind of hovering around, and he waves to you to come on over. So, are you guys all able to control your own tokens?
Where's my token again? I'm trying to...
It's right here. You're actually right there.
Yeah, I can control it. Yep.
Okay. All right. So y'all can head on over there.
I'll make a quick OOC question here.
Sure.
Did we have like prisoners that we had to drop off or to collect a reward or treasure or anything like that?
That's all in the notes. That's all in notes, and that all took place yesterday. In the game, that was yesterday. This is the following day, and everything that you all did this in this game day during last session, like going to Brother Tuck and having him look at those masterwork daggers and figure out what was going with them, and going over to the tower and talking to the two guards who are working with Rufus and Byrne. That all happened this game day. So everything that, if you check the session notes, everything from dealing with all the bandits is all taken care of, and in the past you have no more duties to those people today, or no more duties related to those people today.
Are we trying to get clearance, Gally, to go back to the barracks where they went before I was with them?
You're trying to figure out, you need more than clearance. You need actual kind of backup, because you realize that you might be overwhelmed by, if there were that many bandits there, well, there might be other things lurking around.
And they were already at after I joined them, they already were there already, right? They did check out that first floor. Like, am I wrong about that?
No, they haven't checked out the entire first floor. No.
Oh, okay, but they were inside already, though.
They were only inside the first area.
Okay.
When we get back to that map, you will be able to see
what
they have. Yeah, you're kind of looking for men-at-arms recruits. That's another thing with this edition that is not in the later editions, is that this edition always presumes that the enemies you fight are going to vastly outnumber your PCs, and therefore you're probably always going to need to have either some hirelings or some NPC guides or some other people that either they will take a share of the money because they have to be paid, or they will take a share of the XP because of how much they fight, or they will do both. So I
think it was had to do with your charisma, how many henchmen you could hire, or something like that.
There is a mechanic that has to do with your charisma. Yes, it affects not only how many you can hire, but their morale. In other words, how quickly they will, or how long they will fight for you, or how quickly they will throw down their weapons and run away if everything gets a little too hairy.
Yeah, I've had that happen.
Yeah. All right.
So with the masterwork daggers, have we already dropped them off for somebody to look at?
You already had those examined last week. Yes. You haven't sold them, as far as I know. You still have them. You haven't gotten any monetary value for them because I didn't hear from you guys what you wanted to do with those. So I'm just presuming. Yeah, I'm presuming you guys have kept those for now.
Okay, so we have to approach. We're gonna have to approach them.
Yep.
It sounds like as a party. I'm gonna nominate Twist Devlin. What's his character? He's a rogue. Who's the? And we have who's the fighter now? The new guy, right? Jesse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Jesse.
Jesse.
I would.
Oh,
maybe
that's his character's name, and it's not Sraywolf.
Oh, so his name is Direwolf. It's
Three-wolf.
Seawolf.
Well, the character's name, I guess. I mean, it doesn't really matter if you want to call the character Shree Wolf, you can. The character did have a different name, but that's fine.
The fighter would have. Who would you like? It's one of you two guys, I think, to maybe talk to him. Either you or the fighter or the room.
We haven't met him yet, really. So he's right here. So I guess maybe I should.
I could change his
I
name.
should say.
Jesse, it's up to you. If you want to, since this is a pre-generated character, if it's easier for you just to go by Shree Wolf with the character, that's fine. Because if you decide to stay with the game and create your own character, then we'll have that named whatever you want, and this guy will just go back to the pre-generated name that he had before. But for right now, you can call him anything. So that makes
does
fine.
he just like happen down the path and walk up on us, or what, how do we?
Yeah. Well, Shree Wolf. Yes, let's say that you arrived in town yesterday from, we'll just say you were coming from Hofsland, which is the large human city over on the coast, looking for adventure. You got into town and you found that there was a caravan that was here in the city or here in the village, and it was supposed to have left yesterday morning. However, it was sticking around an extra day because the village elder had told them about bandits and said that there were some adventurers that were out trying to deal with the bandit problem. And you said, "Oh, adventurers. Maybe I'll see, how much success they have and try to introduce myself." And so you will just say that this morning you heard about the successful conclusion of all that business, and you were trying to track them down, and now you have realized that they are going to meet with the village elder. So perhaps while you all are on the path here, perhaps this would be a good time for you all to introduce yourselves in character. So Devlin and Frodo, you guys see a very obvious fighter come up. So Shree Wolf or Jesse, you can go ahead and tell them a little bit about your character.
Oh man, I haven't had any time to think about this.
Well, you can just basically go. You can basically go with what with what equipment he has. And if you, like I said, if you go to that journal page and then click on him and open him up and go to the character sheet, on the combat tab, it will tell you what kind of weapons he has and what kind of armor he has. And then on the inventory, it will tell you about some of the other stuff that he has with him.
And you can feel free to like improvise on his appearance and things like that.
Yeah.
Use your imagination, be creative. Fill in the blank.
Well, I'm a fighter with spear and a dagger and a short bow.
Okay. And
Well, I'll go ahead and start with mine, and then maybe I'll get an idea of what we're talking about. My guy he's kind of thin. He stands about 5'10". he looks a little taller than he really is. He looks like maybe 6'6'1" because he always wears these big tall boots and a top hat because he likes to stand out in his appearance. He has a long dark hair and a goatee. He has a black leather trench coat that he always has a collar turned up, and he pretty much almost like a walking cane. He always carries around a crossbow.
Okay. And my character is Frodo, the human cleric. I'm rather young. I would say I am. I put myself as age 17. Could be 18. I'm about 5'10", black hair, brown eyes. Not too heavy, so I would say I'm about 150 to 160 pounds. And you can see on the side of me, on my belt, is like a warhammer. And I have in my pocket like a cross that you can see that's kind of sticking out, but not all the way. And I come from the town of Dedell. I don't have to give my whole backstory, do I? Or
No.
No, you don't. No, I wouldn't give away anything that
other than that,
he wouldn't know without
Okay.
asking you. That's just what you look like in appearance. Yeah.
Okay. And that's about it.
So Devlin says, "Greetings, sir. I see you're heading the same way we are. My name is Devlin. What?"
I go by the name of Three Wolf. I just came up from the coast looking for some adventure. Heard that you guys had successfully taken out some bandits in the area. So I thought I'd like to jump in on that. I'm good with a bow, good with a spear. I say I was about young lad, 6 foot, long hair, typical young stud there, just out looking to get his feet wet, kind of thing.
I welcome him too. As I said, we could use all the help.
Yeah, I think we definitely could use more help. We're probably going to need to hire even more. But you look more than capable than a lot of the lads around here. They kind of just meat shields more or less. But we like to keep them alive as much as possible. And there's lots of money to gain, I'm sure. So we were just coming up to talk to the village elder and see about maybe hiring some people anyway. So it would be great if you wanted to tag along. I could tell you a little bit more about our endeavors for the town and business opportunities, maybe perhaps after we talk to the village elder, if you're interested.
Sounds good. We'll need some cannon fodder.
All right.
Okay.
Devlin and I kind of smirks and rubs his goatee.
I kind of stand behind Devlin too to defer to him, like because you can see that he's kind of like the leader, Devlin. So I tap Devlin on the shoulder. I says, "What do you think? About the new guy?"
He looks like just the kind of help that we need. We've got you to help with the healing and smacking around as well, and I'm more of a coward than anything else. So sure, I help a little bit, but I haven't learned the nickname of the mouth from the south for nothing. But but I would more than welcome some hardy individuals to help us out, and especially if we do take this stronghold, we might need somebody to flex some muscle around there. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. Yeah. Yep. You're a good judge of character. Says that sounds good.
Well, I try. Hopefully, it keeps me alive. Another day or two.
That's it, right? One day at a time.
Okay. Shall we be off and talk to the village elder?
Yeah. How do you? Yep. That sounds like a plan. We see him still, right? He's there. We can see him in distance.
Oh yeah. He's over there in conversation with Lord Rufus.
I asked Devlin, should one of us go or do we all go? Maybe you want to do the talking?
I'm definitely not the leader of the party. I'm just always willing to talk for the party. So it's a group decision, not all mine, but by no means.
I'll give you my vote unless Alex, the the other sire
I
wolf.
just say let's all go. I mean,
Okay.
what's the harm?
Okay.
I agree. Let's all go, but I'm no diplomat.
Okay.
So then, Sri Wolf, if you or Jesse, yeah, you can drag your character. You probably want to. These guys are over here. So I'm gonna go
I'm gonna put
north.
mine right there.
Funky.
Okay.
It's going the opposite way that I'm pointing. I don't know what's going on.
Okay. You can also use the arrow keys if you just select your token and then use your arrow keys to push up.
Oh, there he goes.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
So
I never. I saw that one time. I never figured out. Oh, now that's much better. The village elder is not a ghost anymore.
yes.
Oh, what happened? Oh, that's Lord. Okay, where is he?
Okay. There we go. Okay.
All right.
That's better. All right.
So we wait patiently for the elder and Rufus to give us a moment to.
Yes, and the village elder says, "Oh, yes, Lord Rufus, have you had a chance to meet our heroes of the moment?" And Lord Rufus says, "So you are the lads that went and dealt with those bandits. I understand that was very well done yesterday. Good job. Good job. My name is Lord Rufus. My former adventuring companion, uh, Byrne the Magnificent, is studying in his tower, and we are in the middle of building our new keep here in the village. What brings you to Dedale?"
Well, my lord, I didn't actually do the bandit killing myself. I just met these guys, but I'm pleased to be in your service.
Oh, please, please, please. I hold a title from the crown, but I do not control these lands. So I am not your lord any more than I am the lord of the fine village elder here. He is the one who is in charge of us coming and going. And the elder says, "Well, now let's not give me too much credit. I can't do anything without the council. And the council won't do anything without the approval of the church and the druids. So we all answer to someone in the end." And Lord Rufus says, "Well said, well said." And so he says, "Welcome. I have told you my name. What are your names, gentlemen?"
I'm Frodo.
"Oh, Frodo, a man of the faith, I see."
Yes.
Devlin bows and doffs his hat and tips it to him. Says, "Greetings, sir. Nice to meet you, Lord Rufus. My name is Devlin."
"Ah, Devlin. Good to meet you. Good to meet you."
And those mere fleas that were bothering the village, they were no match for us. But we do anticipate a much stronger foes in the near future, and we thought it might be wise, if not only to help eradicate these people, but to get some others maybe familiar with the area, as we may be hiring them in the future. And so, what better person to talk to was the elder? And glad you were here. So maybe we could talk to you as well about the same matter.
Yes, we're looking for some men who might want to help us.
And village elder looks at looks at Lord Rufus and says, well, do you think the men you've identified would be up for it if we gave them an opportunity to get out of the village a little bit and get a bit of experience under their belts, as it were? And Lord Rufus says, yes, I think so. I think if I had heard some of the tales that Elmo and Zert were telling late last night, and it sounds like these gentlemen acquitted themselves very well. And there was an elf that was with you, was there not? Is he around today?
Oh, I look at Delvin like,
I'm not sure where he's about. I'm not really sure. Perhaps he'll be along shortly. Not really sure.
Well, in my experience, some elves they put a great stock in meditation, and after a day of battle, often they like to retreat into contemplation. So perhaps he is giving some thought to the work that you all did yesterday. I will see him soon enough and have an opportunity to chat with him. But yes, there are some of the men over in the side of the yard doing their training, and in fact, as you look beyond the gazebo, you see 5 gentlemen over there, and they're lined up, and they have some archery targets, and they are practicing their shooting, but it looks like they're actually doing more than that. It looks like they are practicing all the movements from drawing their arrow from their quiver, placing it on their bowstring, drawing it back, taking a bead, and then they'll do that 2 or 3 times before they actually take a shot at the target. And then you'll see them. They will unstring their bow, and they will pull some of their arrows out, and they'll check the fletchings and everything. And then a couple of them are polishing their sword blade, and looking at the blade, inspecting it to make sure that it's in good condition and whatnot. So they seem to be basically engrossed in those sort of tasks there. Back over behind them, behind the 2 principals that you're talking to.
So does Stray Wolf have a bow and arrow on him?
oh yeah, oh that's good.
You do? Okay, just for information for my I don't know, tomfoolery, I guess.
Yeah, he has a short bow and a quiver of arrows.
Okay. So, Lord Rufus, so are you saying you're turning these men over to us now, or in the morning, or you want them to train some more, or how do you want to work this?
And Lord Rufus says, "Oh, these men, as I said, they're not under my command. I merely have been assisting the village council by reviewing the competencies of the troops and trying to identify a training plan going forward. Elder, what would be the what would you say would be fair compensation for the men to travel with the adventurers out to the old Moat house again to look at it?" And the elder says, "Well, let's ask them." And he turns around and he gives a whistle and he waves to the men, and he says, "Men, come here. We have an opportunity for you." And so they all sort of They all sort of trot over in this general direction, and they say, "Yes, Elder. Yes, Elder. What is it?" And he says, "Well, these are the adventurers who were involved in cleaning out the Moat house yesterday, or getting the bandits from the Moat house yesterday. They now wish to go back to the Moat house and clear the rest of it out, and they're looking for some assistance. Um, it's rather quiet in the village now that uh, we have the guards posted at the stockades. Would you all be interested in going with them? And what would it be? What would it be worth to you?" And they kind of look at each other, and um, this fellow here, he doesn't really seem to have any sort of special rank or anything, but his name is Walter, and he nods and he looks at you and he says, "Well, I think maybe we could do it for maybe a day's wages, and then I don't know if there's any additional loot that you find that you don't need. Maybe we could have a little bit of that. Um, day's wages for us, we maybe 2 gold each. Um, would that be amenable to you, gentlemen?"
Excuse me. Does one of them have a bow?
They all have bows, and you see that they all have long swords, and they all have daggers at their belt.
And you said there were some targets nearby?
Yeah, there's some targets over here, just kind of over, like where it says farmer, there's some targets kind of over in that area.
Well, I'm going to gesture to one of them to say, for that much gold, you better hit a bullseye for me right here, right now.
And so Walter says, "All right. So if we're going to put a wager on it, or we're going to put some performance measures on it, then if I come closer to hitting the target than you, then you pay us the 2 gold up front, and perhaps 2 gold each up front, and perhaps maybe we split 10% of whatever treasure you all find. And if you hit the target better than I do, then maybe you give us 1 gold now and another gold when we finish the job, and we will leave it to your charity if you want to share any of the treasure with us. How does that sound?"
That sounds fair to me. If they can do it, who wants to? I guess he's gonna have to. I mean,
gold up front is still a little expensive.
It is. They want 1 up front when they want 2 total, right?
Essentially their day's wages. What they're saying is 2 gold a day, and you realize from being in the village that that's probably actually what they would get for hazard pay is 2 gold a day, because they probably wouldn't get 2 gold just, doing whatever they do when they're not on guard duty.
So Devlin goes over to Stray Wolf and says, "Are you pretty confident? Are you pretty good with a bow?"
Damn straight I am.
All right. He thinks he can do it. I'm for it. And if he makes it, they get, what is it again? If he makes it,
Okay.
It makes it they get 1 gold up front, and then the charity of the treasure, and then after it's over, we would give them. Do we give them one, or is it just 1 gold up front, or is it 1 afterward?
1 gold up front, 1 gold afterwards, and any charity on the treasure. If they hit the target and Sri Wolf does not, he wants them to give them the 2 gold up front, and then as a group, just give the 5 of them 10% of whatever treasure you find and let them split it among them.
I'd tell Devin we could cover it anyway. If he misses it, we could cover it anyway out of our pocket. So we really have no choice. I think we're going to have to roll the dice. Let him try it. I'm for it. What's the worst case scenario? Either way, we're going to have to put money out. This may just save us as much we put out early on. And they are risking their life. So what do we got to lose?
Devlin pulls Frodo and Stray Wolf over and says, "Look, this is a fairly dangerous mission. Now, if you make the target and we give them all 1 gold apiece, it's quite probable that that's the only gold piece that we're out at the end of the day." You know what I'm saying?
I make the sign of the cross and like, well, let's hope we come back. I understand what you're saying now. Yes. This may be they may not even live to spend it.
Exactly. And we wouldn't pay the additional. But the thing that I want to bargain about is giving them, well, if you make it, you give them 10% of the treasure, or if they make it. And if we miss, then we give them 10% to split amongst them. I would see, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. So we say, if our counteroffer, if you hit it, then we give each one of them 3% of the treasure at the end, right? And so if a couple of them dies, we actually come out ahead. Not that we would be wishing for that, you know.
I say let him take his shot. He's got the confidence.
Yeah, I do as well. What do you all think about the same thing? But if Stray Wolf here hits the target, then instead of 10% altogether, then we give you each individually 3% at the end of the day.
And they all look at each other and they go,
that would be more money in your pocket at the end of the day. Instead of 10% splitting, it would be 2, right?
Yeah, they all say,
very educated men, so I'm sure you could do the math and see that
they all say, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. We would be amenable to that.
No pressure.
Okay, and so there's
okay, Captain Stray Wolf, show them how it's done, brother.
Yeah,
they don't know what they're in for now.
I make a quick blessing on his arrow. I don't know if this will help you, but I can make a quick, like a silent gesture.
Okay, so
Devlin comes over and says, "Gentlemen, let me tell you a little something. I'm sure that this is not really fair to Stray Wolf, but I want to fill you in on something. Now he's being as modest to try to take advantage of you a little bit, but he is the captain of the King's Guard of Shelby, where I'm from. So just letting you know that ahead of time, and he is an excellent marksman. So don't get the jitters, but don't let him boast about it or anything like that. Okay. So good luck, gentlemen. Good luck."
And they kind of look at Sri Wolf like they're trying to look for maybe some sort of sign of heraldry or anything like that, and they kind of look back at you and
he whispers at Stray Wolf, "Stand up tall and bust your chest out like you own this."
Yeah.
With the wind flowing in my hair.
Okay. Let me go over here and get to the. Okay. All right, these guys are all normal. You have a target, which hitting the target requires you to hit an armor class 10. Hitting the inner ring of the target requires hitting an armor class 6. And hitting a bullseye requires hitting an armor class 2. So he looks, Walter looks over at you and says, my lord, would you like to shoot first or shall I?
By all means, go first, my lady.
Okay. Now, you all are inside of 50 feet. Each of these large squares is 20 feet. So you're inside of 50 feet, which means each of you with a short bow gets a +1 on your attack roll. So he is going to do an attack roll against the target with 1d20 +1. And we're going to see what he gets. Oh, he shoots over the target. He misses, and he says, "Oh," and he kind of mutters and curses under his breath, and he backs off.
I kind of whisper to Devlin, saying, "This is money in the bank."
And Sri Wolf, you can go ahead and.
He says, "That's okay, sir. Step right up, and I have your gold here for you. If you want, come up, and I'll go ahead and take care of that for you." Don't feel bad. He is very, very, very good at this. So other people have done much worse. So don't feel bad at all. And he makes sure he says that plenty.
Roy, hang on. Let me find out something from Jesse. Jesse, how familiar are you with Roll20? Are you familiar with using character sheets in Roll20 or not?
A little bit.
Okay, this edition is kind of cool. If you go back to your journal and you open your journal for your character, you will see on the combat tab next to the short bow all the way over to the right, you will see a little attack column, and it looks like a very little faint die. If you click your token on the board and then you click that little die under the attack, it will roll an attack roll for you, and it will tell you what armor class you hit. And just know that because it's going to be a +1 for short range, you'll actually hit one armor class better than whatever it says. So you can do that, or you can open up the little dice roller, go to the advanced roll and do a 1d20 +1 and roll it that way. So it's up to you, whichever way you want to do that.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay, hits AC 11. All right, so
nice.
you hit the target, and so you hit better than they do, and they say, "Well, all right. Well, we, my lord, we are yours for the day. Or do you plan to go today, or are you all going to plan to go tomorrow?" And that's completely up to you all as characters. You can either go. It's probably mid-morning, so you can either head out this morning, or you can wait until first light tomorrow and head out then. That's just strictly.
I went ahead and I subtracted the gold from myself, and I went around to each one of them and handed them their gold piece.
Okay.
And said, as I said, don't worry. He is an excellent marksman, and he's just more or less toying with the notion. He does generally go by captain, and he's if you want to get on his good side, that's the way to address him. You know, he is legendary and Shelby. So yeah, he's quite accustomed to that.
And they all turn and they all look at Sri Wolf and they say, "Well, yes, Captain. When do we leave?" And so then I guess that's up to you guys to decide as a group.
Do we have packs with food and all that stuff on those?
Yes, you guys do. That's part of your inventory.
What
you have
time of day
weeks.
is it?
Right now it's maybe mid-morning, 10 in the morning or so, and you know from yesterday that if you guys can borrow horses, and you're probably pretty sure that these gentlemen living here in town, they probably all have their own horses anyway. So if you all can either borrow or buy horses for yourselves, then it will take maybe a couple of hours to get to the Moat house just riding straight through.
Okay.
And
then I'll say, well, we'll need 3 horses, and we can get ready to go right away.
okay, and as you are discussing that, there is a new person. Well, it's new to Sri Wolf, but not new to the others that comes up. It is Brother Tuck. And Brother Tuck comes up and says, Frodo, they told me that you were here. And he says, and they mentioned that there was another adventurer in town, a fighter of some renown, I believe. Sri Wolf, have you all met him?
I have not met him, sir.
Oh, Tuck is actually talking to Frodo.
Oh, yes, there is. We have just met him. He's joining our party. Would you like to meet him? I can give you an introduction.
Well, yes, I have something for you, and I also brought something for him. And he opens a little leather pouch, and he pulls out 2 small vials. And Frodo, he hands you these vials, and he says, Frodo, these are 2 of our potions of healing. So you might want to keep those safe, and if you need them for yourself or for any of your companions, you can use them.
I think he gave me potions of healing. Let me check. I was going to give these to
did he?
So I'm going to check right now.
I couldn't remember whether he had or not.
Oh, he did it. I have. No.
Okay. He had given them to Siren and Devlin, but I don't know that he had given them to you.
Okay. I'm going to call.
I used one of mine to heal that person, I think, because I'm down to 1. But
yeah.
I call Sire Wolf over. Can he see me talking to him?
Yeah, Sir Wolf, you can see Frodo.
I said, Sir Wolf, this is Father Tuck, Brother Tuck, who was nice enough to give us 2 potions of healing vials. I offer him. I says, please take one and leave it in your backpack just in case you need it. And I kind of say, Brother Tuck, this is the marksman and the fighter that I was just telling you about. So I kind of give them like a casual introduction.
Yeah. And Brother Tuck says, Frodo, it's exactly that sort of spirit of charity and sharing that you've demonstrated these last few weeks over at the temple that makes us so confident in your future success. Actually, I have 2 more of these potions that I was going to give to Sri Wolf, but since you have already split yours, why don't you take another one, Frodo, and Sri Wolf, here's a second one for you.
Thank you.
He hands you each those. Now, you can add to your inventory that you each have 2 potions of healing. And in this edition, they have the quality that if you're injured, You can drink the potion and it will restore 1d6 plus 1 hit points. There's also a second quality that they have by the book, which is if you are suffering paralysis, you can give somebody that's paralyzed a potion of healing, and it will cure the paralysis, but it will not heal any hit points. And then I have homebrewed it a little bit to say that if you are poisoned, you can give somebody a potion of healing and it will cure the poison, but it will not cure any hit points. Now, if you have somebody who is poisoned and paralyzed, basically you give them a potion of healing, we roll a die, and we figure out whether it heals their poison or whether it heals their paralysis. So it's kind of a crapshoot, one of the two. It will do one of those three effects, and if you have either of those effects, it won't cure any hit points, period. If all you are is injured, it will heal hit points. And then Devlin, since you got treasure, he's not giving you any more. You can buy your own. So he figures you and Siren have each earned some gold. So he's willing to help out a brand new baby adventurer. But once you get some experience points and gold under your belt from looting stuff, then you have to start contributing to the economy of the village.
It's time to give back your little trickle down. Gotta supply the village with some money.
I would be more than happy to, but up until the town is able to help us out a little bit and we get our shop and business established, and where we are more capable of contributing back to the society in the town, it might be a little premature in expecting us to give large quantities of gold back to the town. But rest assured, we are going to be thriving and rolling in money, no doubt whatsoever. But it's sure to come. But it might be just a bit premature.
Golly, too. If I want to pay like gold pieces to like Brother Tuck to make potions for me in the future.
Hang on just a second. Roy, if your mic is open, please turn it off because I can hear an echo of everything being said. Okay. Go again, Tony.
Yeah, if I want to say we spend some money, say to buy potions, I offer him to make me potions, but pay him, and then also donate to the church to keep it going. Building things. I'm sure there's work that needs to be done, and they'll take the extra money. Is that okay if I want to say, can you make me 4 potions and I'll pay him for his work, or give it to the church that can be used to restore things, whatever my work.
Sure, yeah. You guys can purchase those potions, and I think I have in one of the chat channel or one of the text channels in Discord. Jesse, you'll find there's a bunch of text channels over in the Discord, and a lot of them have PDF files. So there's like a fighter. There's a fighter text channel, and if you go in there, you can download like a 2 or 3 page PDF, and it just has some of the basic rules for the fighter and what it does in this edition. And then there's a couple of others sections that have different PDFs for tables and rules and things of that nature as we go along. There's a channel based on the skills, and you'll see that on your skills tab, I've gone ahead and given you a few skills. So if you download that skills PDF, it'll tell you what those skills do and how those work. So yeah, I think that information. I think we have a price established for that, but yeah, we can. Just remind me that you want to have him work on those, and he'll tell you. He'll tell you what the cost of those is.
Okay.
All right. So the horses are secured fairly readily, and the militia men seem all excited. Lord Rufus seems very pleased. The village elder seems pleased. And you all are able to go ahead and get started heading out to the Moat House. So what I am going to do, I'm going to move this guy out of the way, and then I'm going to grab these 3 tokens, copy them. I am going to go over to the Moat House map, and I will okay, I apparently need to get all of these guys, move them all over here. Yes, and I need to put them there. Then I will go ahead and I will paste you guys here. All right. So, through the magic of Roll20, I can move this over here. And here we are at Ye Old Moat House. Now I'm going to go ahead and change the scale of the map on the stream. And you guys, if you're not familiar with Roll20 yet, over on the left-hand side of the screen near the top, you have a little vertical toolbar, and there's a magnifying glass. If you click on that, that gives you a magnifier, and it lets you set your view of the size of.
I'm just going to step away 1 minute. I'm just going to get some drink for my throat.
Sure. Okay.
All right.
Then I'm going to move these guys over here, put them over there. Then I'm going to get these guys, and I'm going to move them over here, put them there, and go back to the other map and grab the ones that are all set up so you can see their names and everything, and bring them over to this.
Yeah, I love these old maps from AD&D.
Yeah, they are a lot of fun. The one thing that I don't like about them is, of course, they're not purpose made for Roll20, so the scale doesn't always line up. But you can fudge the scale a little bit with some of the tools so that it makes it work out so that it's almost the right scale for what it's supposed to be. So let me go back to this, and I will paste these guys there. Okay, good. All right, then I'm just going to get these guys all out of the way. All out of the way. Out of the way. guards are up behind you. All right, so we will say that you all hobbled your horses just a little bit off the map, edge of the trees, gave them some shade, gave them some oats to eat while you all are in the moat house here. And as you have come up, Jesse, since this is the first time you are seeing this area, I will give you
Okay, I'm back.
a description of the moat house as you come up. A scrub of thorns, thistles, weeds, and shrubs grows thickly along the edge of the track which leads to the ruins, and even the track is mostly overgrown and cluttered with fallen branches and trees. Here and there it's washed out, in other places it's a mire. Evidently some games still follow the pathway, and you can also Devlin and Frodo can point out, and it's actually fairly easy to see, even if you don't have the tracking skill. With all the activity that was here yesterday, you can see all the booted feet that are tracks of all the booted feet that have been in and out of here very recently, and the signs of the battle. There's also some stink over next to one of these little ponds over here, next to this pond right here, where you can see me pinging, where there's the corpses of several large, and when I say large, I mean enormous frogs that have been slain. And it looks like some of the skin and entrails and stuff has been harvested from those corpses. So maybe somebody was taking that for some research or something like that. Doesn't look like they've been eaten on, but because I believe Siren was going to take some of those to help with his spell research. Now, Devlin can tell you a little bit about the layout of some of this, the areas that you can see inside. Beyond the drawbridge, there's a large open courtyard area, and then there's some stairs that go into sort of some inner workings, and there's a couple of rooms back in the back, but there's still all these large areas that are in black have not yet been explored. So,
oh, you meaning the black, like the black rooms that are in it, like darkened in?
Yes. So I don't know if you can see. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You can see where I'm pinging there.
Yes.
That's all area that hasn't been explored.
Gotcha.
This is area that hasn't been explored. In fact, right over here is area that hasn't been explored in this tower. So you all have no idea what's in those areas.
And the entrance is right in front of us by
anything.
that bridge?
Yep, the entry is right here at the
Gotcha.
drawbridge. All right. Now, Tony, this timing is a little bit bad for you, but it kind of works out well story-wise. I think this might be a good point for us to go ahead and take our break for the session.
Mm-hmm.
I have almost 25 after 23 after. So why don't we take about 10 minutes and come back at 35 after.
Okay.
And we will continue. I'll just ask if you're going to step away from the computer, just make sure that your mic is muted so that we don't hear any background noise, because for the benefit of anybody watching live, which we did have one live viewer a while back, and then people who watch the stream later, I'm going to put some music on, and I just don't want that loop of an open mic catching that music as it's playing through somebody's speakers. So
Okay.
go ahead and do that, and then we will come back in a few minutes.
Okie dokie.
Getting familiar with the dice roller tool there?
Yeah, I'm just getting a feel for the place.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of cool, though. I mean, there's quite a bit of tools for free. I was
Yeah.
surprised. Plus, something I just found out about was the D&D Beyond.
Yes.
Can you import characters from there? Is that what we'll be making characters, or?
Not for first edition. One limitation of D&D Beyond right now is, and this follows a pattern that what they did with the, I think they called it the D&D Insider during the era of fourth edition, is that that tool is specifically geared just to the current edition rules. So there's really no mechanic in D&D Beyond for being able to create a character for an older edition of D&D. Roll20 does have the
Okay.
does have all of those different character sheets in there, and when you create a game as a DM, you have to tell it which character sheet you want. And one of the nice things, as you mentioned, is for a player, you can have a free account and the DM can put a lot of stuff in the game and it just shows up for you as the player. It does not require everybody that's in the game to have, like a premium
Right.
account
It's pretty
to do
nice.
that. Yeah, and it's fairly reasonable. I mean, it's not that expensive to run that as a GM if you want to run something in Roll20. And when you subscribe at a certain level, like I do, you can just create an unlimited number of games, and they can be all different editions and all this kind of stuff. So you don't have to pay a separate fee for every game you create, which is good.
Yeah, the Roll20 is really good. I'm enjoying it. I'm only on actually playing the last couple of weeks, like about a month, and it's really pretty cool. I actually think it's, other than just like you can't roll the dice. Actually, that's the you could really if you do the honor system.
Yeah, you can you do that. Yeah, and Jesse, I guess depending on whether you've played primarily this original version of D&D or whether you played the AD&D, which came after this one. This is the version that still uses a D6 for initiative. So all the initiative rolls are D6s instead of D20s. And I can't remember when the D20 started, but as I was getting ready to launch this game and going back and reviewing, brushing up on all the rules, it's like I couldn't believe how much has changed. And then, of course, there's some things that still remain the same. But there's, different kinds of stat blocks and everything have all changed. So.
Yeah, this here is. I'm pressing the one right on the character sheet.
Yeah. And I think you have to click your token and then click the button, and it will automatically associate it with your character. I know in 5th edition, there are a few things that work that way because there's a plugin that somebody has made for 5th edition called Beyond 20. And what it does is it actually data mines all of the stuff out of D&D Beyond, so that if you create a character for 5th edition, a 5th edition game in D&D Beyond, it gives you all of those little buttons you can click in D&D Beyond, and it will roll the dice for you in Roll20. And then for the DM, it also gives that same kind of thing for all of the stats on the monsters. So you can go into the D&D Beyond monster manual and just go to the stat block for the monster, and on each of its attacks you can click and it will automatically calculate everything for its attack, does the damage for you. If it has special skills, it will do skill checks for you and everything like that. So it's a very nice tool, but again, that's only for the current edition. That's not for the older editions.
That's bogus. Bummer.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get back into the game if everybody is back.
Is Doc
and-
AFK?
Doc, are you back yet, or are you?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, excellent, wonderful. So here you sit out outside of your outside of the Moat House again, the ruins of the Moat House. And how do you guys want to deploy and use your cannon fodder, as Sri Wolf put it?
I think we should. I think we should send a couple, like probably send 2 ahead of us and let them trip any traps and that kind of thing.
Okay, so these 2 guys. And now that you don't have to write stuff down on a sheet of paper anymore, in terms of a marching order, how do you guys want to be arranged? Just thinking tactically, if Sri Wolf is up front, that would put more of your beef up front. And Devlin, if you're up front, you have all of those different, thief-like abilities that can be used to help spot and find and all that kind of thing. So it's kind of up to you. How do you guys want to arrange yourselves?
We still have 3 more of the.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm presuming
Devlin will go as far as about right here. Just looking to see if we can find any traps or wires or anything like that.
I'm going to stay in the back over here.
Okay. Devlin also, because he was here yesterday, he can point out to everybody else where the boards in the drawbridge look like they might be a little dicey, and tell them where to walk, because he had to figure all that stuff out yesterday. So that's probably a good place for him to be, is heading up this way. So as you head up, and Jesse, again, for your benefit, since you were not here last week, this rotting drawbridge, part of the drawbridge was battered through, and men can cross on the planks to gain access to the inner gate. The chains of the drawbridge are broken, and it has fallen down open. It remains that way. It's strong enough to hold a person in several areas, but there are some of the boards that look kind of rotten, and you would be very suspect under the best of circumstances of thinking that it could hold the weight of a mule or a horse. Probably not going to be able to support the weight of an animal, but could support the weight of you guys as you cross over.
So I guess we should probably tie the horses up so they don't leave.
Oh, you guys. I just said you all did
okay.
hobble the horses back by the tree line, and left them a few. Yeah, you can. When you get to the edge of the drawbridge, you can see them off over there by the edge of the trees, but they're out of harm's way at the moment. So,
I suggest we go across the bridge one by one.
all right.
Well, but before we start across the bridge, while I'm looking for traps and whatnot, I'm also looking for evidence of footprints, anything that's been moved, looking like more people have arrived since.
Okay. I think that sounds like a great opportunity for Devlin to use
Roll the dice.
to use his what is it? Oh gosh.
Would that be
That's
perception or?
Well, it would be in the new version. I kept thinking that in this version you have the spot hidden, but that's a different version where you have the spot hidden spell. Let's just take a look. Go ahead and give me a. What was it? Go ahead and give me a wisdom check to just see if you notice anything that's out of place or anything that's different from what was here yesterday. Okay, 10. That beats your 15. Doesn't look like there's been any signs of more people coming in and out of here. Everything's pretty much right where you remember it being as you left out of here with the prisoners yesterday after finishing all the fighting. So it looks like you're in good shape.
So I got a question. Why is this doing this?
Huh?
Maybe
Why is what doing what? I don't
it was
hear.
bringing up like a double panel. It was bringing up my roll panel on the left side, and it was bringing up like my gear thing on the right side. Like I had two different things up at once. I didn't know you could even do that, but somehow.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, you can open up multiple panels at once. So
All right, so I don't. Everything looks like no new people have come in and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we'll have those. Are those other two guys the hirelings? Are they entering the next the entrance?
Yeah, they will. Soon as Devlin gets in, the next one will come on
I'm
up
going to
this
have them
way.
go first, just in case.
Okay. He'll push on past you here, and then his buddy will come up here and walk in, and they will report back what they see. These gates are broken. One door is hanging open and one on one great hinge. The other is splintered and holed, but still in position, wedged and shored, closed from the inside. And that's exactly how you guys found it yesterday. So there's no change.
So
in that.
Devlin suggests that they go on up to the stairs,
Okay.
and then he'll follow them. Follow.
I'm going to enter behind them too. So I should move my
Okay.
piece.
Yep, you can go ahead and.
I'll put myself in the room too, right here.
Okay. And okay, Frodo, you see. Let me tell you what you see as you are there. You see a black, basically a black cavernous space in the interior of that tower. It's very heavy shadow. You can see some streaks of sunlight coming through the edges of the arrow slits.
Where would that be? Which
Here,
side?
right
over
here,
So
right
I'm
here.
walking through. So I'm in the room here, but I can see through the slits here.
You can see like little shafts of light that just are in here, but this whole room is really dark.
Right here.
Yeah,
You're lighting up.
yeah.
I move away from the door. I call one of the hirelings over. I says, "It's standing in front of me. Is it just a wall like, or you can see a slit, or is it just?"
There's a little entryway right here to go into the tower.
I asked one of the hirelings if you can try to open that door.
Okay.
One of the third ones behind me. Yes.
Yeah. So these guys, they will.
Let me situate myself behind it right there so I can see. I'm going to take my hammer out anyway too to have it in my hand just in case.
Okay. All right. So then I guess Ethert will go over here, and he says, "Oh, it's dark. Let me get a torch." So he pulls out his tinder box and he lights a torch, and he will go on into the area, and that will allow us to reveal what is in this area. And that is done like so. It's a little bit of a. There's supposed to be a fog of war, or a dynamic lighting, I should say, but I have found that it doesn't really work that well. So I black everything out and then just reveal the areas as I need to reveal them, so that people can see. All right. So when he puts his torch up and he sticks it in there, he says that there's just some debris that's fallen down in here. It looks like this was a 2-story tower, and that the part of the upper floor has collapsed, and there's some rubble down below. There's maybe some wood, and he says, "Doesn't look like there's anything in here."
Now, if I walk to the edge of that door where he's looking at with the torch, can you see a hole in the floor going down?
Okay, if you step over there, if you step over there and look down, you just see a floor. No, it doesn't look like
so there's no hole.
any stairways.
But the
Doesn't look
ceiling,
like
of course, is the ceiling coming down from up top if I look up?
If you look up, you can. It's up in shadow. And let me take a look here.
Can I take his torch and kind of like move it into the room? Not entering the room, but like holding it above to try to shed light on it? Like it's maybe to throw some light on the ceiling?
You sure can. You sure can. So let's see. There's a couple of things that you notice. You notice that there, when you look in, amidst the rubble down below, you see the glint of what looks like some coins. You also see a like the husks and bones of things like some very large rats that are there, and it's that are on the floor.
And they've been dead for a while then, so there's total bones.
Yeah. And as you look up, DM needs to make a roll here and see what you guys spot. Okay. All right. You don't notice any other details than that. So like I said, it looks like there's maybe some bones of some small animals, and it looks like maybe there's some coins there. So what do you want to do?
I tell them not to go in. The
Okay.
hirelings. I just with the
Okay.
rats there, and it does seem the floor doesn't seem. Does it seem stable? Unstable?
It looks like it's a flagstone floor, so it looks like it's a stone floor. This whole area here, this courtyard area, looks like it's made of flagstones, and that floor of the tower is also stone.
I called Devlin and Styrewolf over. I want them to take a look inside and say, "Is there a lot of coins on the floor?" I mean,
You can see the glint of a couple. I mean, you'd have to probably go in there and search around to see how many there are there.
I mean, I called them over. I says, "I don't know if this is fool's gold. If it's safe to go in there for a few gold pieces." And I show them the rats that are decomposing on the floor. I'm showing them with the torch, but we're not in the room. And I say, "What do you think we should do? Should we stay away or continue the other way?" Because he's been here before. I have.
Yeah, Devlin,
we haven't been in that room.
you never went over to this room.
I mean, we could send
Devlin's
one of the
gonna
hirelings.
he'll look around for traps and things like that.
Do you want to take
not
one of the
venturing
hirelings with you, Devlin?
Okay, you're gonna. Okay, you're going to take a look right there at look for some traps. Let me just go back and look at your party. Where your da, 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 da. Let's go ahead and then let's take a look at your class skills here.
That was pretty cool. Turned down dead.
Yeah.
But I hope it's no vampire.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll a find traps check, Devlin.
Wow, do I even have that check?
Yep. Go to your character sheet, go under the class tab, and then you have find traps. And you click that roll. And at this level, you have a 10%.
I got a 6.
Okay,
that's what Strygo got.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. I'm gonna check and see what it does. Oh, interesting. It doesn't actually roll the die for you. So, all right, then you'll need to roll a percentage die. Sorry about that. I thought it was going to actually roll the die for us. So you know where to get that dice roller tool, and then on the advanced roll, you can change that to roll 1d100.
Nice. 91.
Okay. 91. Well, actually, he needs 10%. 10% or less. So yeah, you don't notice any traps. So it probably looks perfectly safe.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and have one of the men. Well, he's going to come out and talk to Stray and say, well, I'm relatively certain it's safe, but if you want to have one of your men go in there and check it out, I'm fine with it. Just to be safe.
Okay.
I totally agree. I think we should send Athard in.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So,
Athart says, "All right, Captain," and he steps in. And as soon as he steps in, there is a slight, you hear a slight noise from above. And you see this ginormous spider that leaps down from above and goes to try to bite your hireling. And we can now have everybody roll initiative.
okay.
Because we are going to have ourselves a combat.
Just hit the D6 dice right now. That's it, right?
Well, you can actually go to your character sheet, and
that's right. I have to see if I have
there's
plus,
a place on combat to roll initiative. And
And that would be. Oh yeah, initiative. No bonus I have, so just hit the initiative button.
Yep, that should do all that for you.
You know what? Can I just get a tissue for 1 second? I roll my.
Sure. Yeah.
I'll be right back. Thanks.
Okay. Devlin, what's your actual dexterity score?
16 plus 2
Okay.
is what I have for.
Yeah. I don't care about the pluses. What I'm just doing the same thing we do in 5th edition, and I'm putting your dex score as a tiebreaker. So, Sri Wolf, what's your actual dex? Oh, your actual dex score is an 11. I know.
Yeah, everything's 11.
Yeah. And then let's see with Frodo. Frodo has a dex score of. Where is he? His dex score is 14. Okay, so.
Well, the one thing I note is it shows that I rolled a 7 there on the chat channel, but I rolled a 5, so it's
Right. No, it's adding the +2, yeah, and that's
cool.
fine. That's fine.
But I thought a low initiative is good, so wouldn't it be subtracting 2?
No.
The game is.
That's actually something I should look at, and I will do it as soon as I give everybody else their turn, because I have been playing the initiative goes from fastest to slowest for so long that I have just been presuming that in this edition a high initiative is better, but that may be one of the things that's backwards in this.
Oh, isn't high initiative better, like in this one?
Well, it is in 5th edition, and it has been for quite a while, but I don't know if it's.
I always thought basically the higher the number.
Just for ease of, because it already adds 2 to whatever you roll, so shouldn't we just say higher initiative is better?
You would think, yeah, it would make sense.
Any reason why it says 5.11 and 5.1?
Yes, because I added your actual initiative or your actual dex score as a tiebreaker.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So. I never. Yeah, this is the first time I've ever seen initiative on. It's way cool. The turn order is really nice. So Devlin goes first, then the giant spider. That's really
well. Cool. I will reset the initiative in the actual order because I'm just putting everybody on the initiative, and it's and then I can do this and put them in descending order, And now you see the actual order. So yes, Devlin goes first, then you go, then Sri Wolf, and then the spider is a little bit further down. But the spider does get the ability to attack first because he jumped out and nobody saw. So he is a 2-hit die monster. And that means that he has a THACO of 17 or a THACO of 17. So we're going to see what he gets on his D20 roll, and we'll see what armor class he hits. So he'll just do this. Armor class 4, that's not going to hit your hireling. So your hireling is fine. And that's the spider surprise round. Devlin, you are up. There's a big, nasty wolf spider that's trying to chew on your retainer. What would you like to do?
Well, make sure he's in close enough to where he can get at him, but make sure he's back far enough to where he can just get at him and be out of the way as possible. And he's going to fire his crossbow.
Yep. So go ahead and on your character sheet, if you guys remember, if you go to your combat tab and you click the attack button to the right of your weapon, it will automatically. Okay. So you hit an armor class 16. Our spider friend here has a better armor class than that, so you're going to miss him.
Yeah, I rolled a natural 1.
Yeah. So, would you like to move or anything, or are you just going to hang out there?
Well, he would not have a problem moving as far back as he can get, I suppose. But.
Okay. Yeah, as long as you can see him. As long as you can see him, you're in good shape. Okay, Frodo.
Yes.
You
Quick question.
are up. Yes.
I'm up. I'm trying to look. Do I have arrows? Crossbow. I'm trying to figure out.
I do not believe.
Oh, I can't use it. That's right, because of the
do.
edges. Yes.
Right.
I have. Am I close enough to hit him, or do I have to enter still?
You would have to get up closer to him to hit him. Now, if you don't want to be in melee, you do have some skills that you can use to help out your friends. And if you got up there, then it would keep some of the other fighters from being able to get in there.
You know what to do? Can I take my? I think I have a mace, right?
Yes, you do.
Can I take that and throw it at him, the spider?
We will say that yes, you can.
And how do I throw the mace? I'm trying to look at my combat screen.
Okay, that's gonna be an improvised attack. Let me take a look at your. Every version of D&D has a little bit different rules on that. So I'm gonna say go to your main tab, and you see you have a dex of 14. So go ahead and roll me a d20 plus 1.
Okay, so hit the d20. How do I just add the d20 button and then I have to...
Yeah, you can on that toolbar on the left, you can click on the little dice icon, and that will bring up the dice roller. And then under the advanced roll section,
advanced
you can
dice roller.
Yeah, you can see where it says the little drop down by
roll
the die.
Roll 1 d20 plus 1?
And then just put a plus 1 in that,
Gotcha.
and then click the roll button.
Oh.
Okay, 9 So for you guys, that's going to hit an armor class 10, and that will not miss, or that will miss the spider because he's got a better armor class.
There
than
goes
10.
my mace. Sorry.
Well, you can pick it up after the fight,
Yes.
presuming you guys live.
Klutz.
Damn it.
Sree Wolf, your guy is in there fighting the spider. You gonna jump in heroically, or are you gonna stand back with Devlin and shoot arrows at it?
Excuse me, sorry. I'm gonna holler over at Walter. Have him. How wide is that doorway exactly? The entrance into that tower?
Well, I am going to use a long-standing rule from later editions because I frankly don't remember what the actual rule about movement in this edition is, which is that as long as there's place to squeeze, you can go into the room and skirt around a monster and not have it draw extra opportunity attacks on you. So Walter could go into the room and then get around on the other side of the spider, and that would leave room for more of the guys to go in there and take whacks at it.
Okay, I appreciate that. What about if Walter was next to Athart? Would I be able to fire arrows, or would the doorway be blocked?
It's a large creature, and if your guys are blocking it, you would take a -4 penalty to fire into combat. I believe.
So assessing the situation, yeah, I'm looking at a small firing window, or rush my guys in. I suggest I look over at Devlin and I say, "Hey, what do you say we draw this thing out into the courtyard and we can surround?"
That sounds like a good idea. If he can get out the doorway, though.
Yeah,
Or
he's kind of halfway in the doorway. He could.
Hey, Frodo, you think you can pull that thing out in the courtyard?
Well, how do we go about doing that? I mean, is there anything we can throw on the floor? Can we throw meat on the floor out? A ration?
Well, the meat coming out is tactically probably going to be your guy trying to back out of that room into the courtyard and having the thing chase it. And of course, if he backs up far enough, then that's going to put Frodo in the front line, and it will probably say, "Ooh, that cleric looks delicious," and try to bite the cleric.
I don't know.
Being too nice.
Yeah. That's a tough decision. I mean, is there room enough? Is there more enough? Could we send the guys in the room to hire the other guys to go in?
The other guys could go in and surround it inside. They could slip in that open doorway there and go around the thing and fight it inside there.
I mean, strength in numbers. If we could send at least 2 or 3 more guys in. I mean, that room is rather large. Could we all go in that room? Well,
you all could, yes, if you want to.
Maybe if they can get a whack or 2 in there on them, maybe subdue them, and then we can finish it off.
Sure, why not? I'm not going in though. I'll wait outside.
Okay, but it's your turn. So you're going to shoot now, or are you just going to give orders, or what are you going to do?
I'll just give orders, to go through the door and surround them, and then
Okay.
I guess I'll try to get a shot, maybe if I'm close up to the door or something. I don't
know. You have a shot now, so if you want to, you can tell those guys what to do, and then if you want to, you can take a shot with your short bow.
Oh, sure. Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
you are within range, so you actually will hit. You'll get 1 more than whatever armor class you hit because you're within 50 feet of it.
All right, that sounds good.
So you hit armor class 9, you hit armor class 8. This thing has a slightly better armor class than armor class 8, so that kind of glances off of its chitinous shell, and the arrow scatters over into the debris on the floor. And then you tell the other guys, hey, go in there and surround it. Whack it. Or something like that, right?
Yep.
Okay. So then it's Walter's turn. And Walter is going to draw his sword. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I'm just afraid our guys are toast, but I guess we don't have to pay them.
Well, they haven't gotten hit yet, so none of us have taken a shot.
Yeah, and
we do
he
have
is
the upper
going
hand.
to attack with his. Okay,
we need the digital dice to start swinging in our favor.
Yeah. Thank goodness it's not the.
There better be some damn treasure in here.
Other than like one gold piece that I said.
Yeah. All right, let's see what is.
At least it'll be a memorable first fight for me and you guys on Roll20. Giant Spider, other than Devlin. This is our initiative.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm really wanting to. Wish I had a nice rolled up character, because then I'd be getting all kinds of pluses and for dexterity and this and that.
Yeah, now I need the superhero. No, yeah.
Okay, so give me this guy here.
This is what they've been training for.
Okay.
So let's see if one of them can connect.
All right, he is going to roll his attack, which will be that. And okay, armor class, or he gets a 13, and that will hit an armor class of, according to the table, that hits an armor class of. Hey, that hits an armor class 6. That's exactly what he needs.
Yes.
So now he's going to.
Good job, Walter.
Yeah. Now he's got a long sword, and he's got. So he does 5 points of damage. So he takes a hunk out of the spider. The spider just squeals in pain, but seems angry more than really badly hurt. So then Exard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exard goes in here, and he's going to take a whack at this thing. Oh
boy!
So he hits.
It's not a natural 20.
Not a natural 20. And actually, in this edition, they did not yet have
crits.
So there was not any extra damage for doing that. But still,
we'll take a 19.
Yeah, he deals some more damage. Now, this is a rule I like from later editions, so I'm going to use it for us. The spider is now below half hit points, so you can tell that he is bloodied. And so you guys can see that he's pretty badly hurt now at this point. Okay, and the spider has 3 guys surrounding him. And so he has 3 targets, and they all look delicious. And so he's going to actually turn, and the guy that hit him the hardest is Walter. So he's going to go, and he's going to try to bite Walter. And then what was his... okay, so he had this, and it was was this, and it was okay. Yeah, armor class. Yeah, that's not going to hit enough. That's going to be like an armor class 12, and Walter has a better armor class than that. So he just you can see there's kind of this venom on his fangs, and they clack together, but they don't connect with Walter. Gowis, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so Gowis comes in here, and he is going to attack with his sword. Oh, that is a nat 20, but of course doesn't do any extra damage.
We have to thank the man who trained him. What was his name again?
Oh, he should have lost a leg on that at least.
Damn.
Okay. Well, actually, that is going to be enough to kill it.
So
And whoops, no, not him. Oh, whoops. +8. I clicked the wrong thing. So -8. Okay, and now that guy gets the X through him. All right, so the spider does that thing that spiders do, flips over on its back, its legs all curl up, and it lets out this kind of squeak, and it quits moving, and everybody looks up, and they kind of hold their shields up, but there's nothing else that moves from up above. The tower has fallen silent once again. And you all have just killed yourselves a nice big spider.
Oops. Jabba. Dave, whoever, we have to thank him if we get back to the village in one piece. For your first battle, these are quite impressive.
Yeah, they oh man, have you ever seen a spider that big before? Golly. And they kind of just all back away from it and go, ugh, it's disgusting.
Should we search the room for anything? We're there now.
Have the men search the room.
Sure. Okay.
Evelyn has got one empty vial that he used for the potion of healing, and he's going to see if he can milk any venom out of the spider's vein or fangs.
Okay. Let me take a quick peek at your character sheet and see if you have a specific skill for that. Wait, did you take alchemy? No, that was somebody else that took alchemy. Okay, so let me look at the. I tell you what. Give me a D100. I'm going to call this a remove traps. So give me a D100 and let's see if you can match your remove trap skill, which is a 10%, then I'll let you grab some venom. Okay. You go and you try and you start trying to squeeze it, and you're not quite squeezing the right thing, and then you realize that you've actually ruptured the poison sac, but instead of the poison oozing out where you can collect it, it's actually kind of dripping inside the body cavity of the spider. So you weren't successful in getting any poison from that guy. So
looking around the room, do we see how far out it leads, or can we see anything?
Yeah, you can see that this was a 2-story tower. It looks like the top level is pretty much all kind of there might have been some stairs over on one side, but they've all pretty much collapsed. So there's not a way of getting up there. And there's looks like the roof is probably gone because you can see a couple of little motes of sunlight up above, but it's still kind of pretty dark up there. Now, looking around in the clutter on the floor, since somebody said they wanted to do that, you find the following. And I'm going to go ahead and put this into the treasure party treasure sheet. You all find. We'll say this. Okay, session 5. Session 5. Spider Tower. There are 38 silver pieces. There are 71 copper pieces. And there is an ivory box about the size of a large book. So
looks like the job of a thief.
Yeah, and yeah, so that's what you guys find. Those 3 items.
Wow. So, and Gally, you'll keep everything on the sheet, like, so we can like an inventory, like that's.
Yeah, I put the treasure there. I also reiterate at the end of the adventure, the end of the session in the weekly notes, I tell you what treasure was there, and then I leave it up to you guys how you divide that treasure.
Oh yeah, no biggie. Yeah. Oh wow. And now that box, does it look like it's locked or?
Well, are you gonna look at it or?
Oh no, I called the
Let
thief
the
over.
thief- Yeah. let
Yeah.
the thief do it.
I'm not touching this. I'll say a prayer for him, but I look at it like.
Okay, so large box. Let's say maybe it's like 8 inches of long way, maybe about 6 inches front to back, and maybe about 4 inches high. And it's got a looks like it's made out of ivory, and it looks like it has a lid with hinges on it.
I can grab it just to check for traps on it.
Okay, so we'll get a lot of good mileage out of the thief ability today. Your find traps is again 10%. So if you roll a D100, and we'll see whether
I
you.
think just I just click this find traps thing.
Yeah, that's what it was doing before. Is it doesn't actually roll the D100 for you. It just tells you what you need to roll. Which is weird because a lot of other things, you click on the button and it does actually do the roll for you. $22. Okay. All right. Oh, that's the other thing, and I realized that should be a clue to me. I realized why it's doing that, because in this edition, and this is one of the things I don't necessarily like about this edition, but in this edition, the DM was supposed to do a lot of stuff. So it's like the DM was supposed to roll the find traps and would not tell you what you got, and then would just tell you whether you found a trap or not. In the newer editions, everybody does all their own skill rolls themselves, and so I'm just used to having the players do that. And So yes, you kind of know whether you make your skill check or not, but just because you miss your skill check and there's not a trap, it doesn't mean that there really is a trap. So to me, it doesn't really seem to make much difference whether you know whether you made your skill or not. The only way you would ever know if there was a trap is if you made your skill check and there really is a trap. Either in any other case, you wouldn't know whether there was one or not. So yeah, there's no traps that you can detect on here.
So does it appear?
There's no locking mechanism on the box that you can tell. It's just got a lid that's hinged.
I'll point it at the wall. And,
Okay.
Try to pull it apart.
Okay. You open up the lid. Nothing jumps out. You look in. There's some dust in there, but it's a finely made empty ivory box. And you now have that in your party treasure. Probably can take it to somebody in town and have it appraised and see what it's worth. Okay, now we know that the elf is not here today, and we don't have a magic user in the party. But is there anybody? And those venom sacks aren't going to be any good anymore. But does anybody want to take any parts of this spider for any reason?
No, I want nothing there. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Always thinking wizards like to harvest. Wizards and arcane casters usually like to harvest crap off of these big monsters. Now, what I'm gonna do, since we're not gonna take anything else from the spider, I'm just gonna move the spider over to the GM layer. That basically gets it off the map, so it's not cluttering things up. And so now we can continue on with the exploration. None of your guys took any damage. I will let you know. It's Jesse, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I will let you know, Jesse, that on your character, I gave him the healing skill. And that basically means that if there's anybody in the group that is injured, which there's not right now, you could attempt a healing check on them. And if you get your skill or under, you can heal 1d3 points of damage from their wounds. And every time a person gets wounded in a fight, you can do a healing check on them. But it says, by the way the rules are written, you can only attempt one healing check on any one set of wounds. So if a guy gets hit in a fight and you try it after that fight and you fail, then if you go to another fight and the guy doesn't take a wound, you can't check to try to heal that first wound anymore. You've already attempted, and that's all you can do. And of course, all the PCs have at least one of the healing potions that are available if you all need them. So, Devlin, Frodo, Stray Wolf, where do you guys want to go next?
Okay. I asked Devlin, you've been to this part before. I guess we're looking at those big stairs here. Is that a stair? Sort of like in the next room over? Like, it's like a bridge going.
Well, we haven't even been to the top of the stairs. Let's go up there first.
Okay.
Right.
We'll send a couple of our guards out and ahead of.
Okay. Yeah, these guys, they're happy to get out of. They're happy to get out of the room with that big dead spider. They will go on over here. All right. So, Ethart, he kind of gets nominated by the rest of his guys. Okay, he's going first now. He walked into the room with a spider, so he gets to go first everywhere. So, so he'll walk on over here, and as you guys get over here, let me read you the doors. The large doors at the head of these stairs is broken. One lays flat on the floor. The other is split in half by some very, very old, very, very old, I don't want to say injury, but an old blow that it took that split that. In other words, that door has been split for many years. It's not something that's just recently happened. And beyond the door, you can see into what may be like a great hall area. And in that area, there's destroyed furniture, tattered banners, and tapestries are on the wall, and heaps of rotting cloth are thrown into corners. Probably at one time it was very richly appointed, and it looks like it's been probably through the bandits has been pretty thoroughly searched, sacked, and despoiled. There are some leaves and some dirt on the floor, and you guys can see evidence of the boot tracks crisscrossing from where the bandits have been hanging out in here for a while. And a lot of them are old, and none of them are any newer than yesterday. There's cobwebs, and these are kind of normal sized cobwebs that hang from walls and ceiling above. And if you look up, you'll see pieces of beams and chunks of stone that poke through, indicating other stories are probably destroyed and likely to be impassable by anything other than, some sort of small creature like a rat or a cat or something like that.
And the other room that we're all in, against, like, in that corner, is that like debris? Is that what you're describing? Like in that?
No, this is what you
this
can
is
see
room.
from the
Okay,
door.
and in this room that we're in, that little
Yes.
debris here. Yeah, what's in this corner here?
Over here.
Yeah.
Over here. That is where part of the side wall has collapsed. Not totally, but there's a lot of rubble from the wall that's fallen inside, and some of the rubble has fallen outside. If you wanted to get through the wall out here, it's basically like rough terrain trying to climb over that and get outside. So instead of the wall being whole all the way up to the top, it's like there's now a pile of rubble, maybe 10 feet high, that covers that area. So you could scramble over it and get out of the keep into the moat if you wanted to. But that's basically what that is.
Okay. And I asked Devlin. So you were into where they described the other room. You were in that room where they just. Did you go that far in and use? came the first time?
No, I only came to here and called for the leader, but I say let's go on up these stairs and have the
Okay.
guards ahead of us and see what there is to see.
Sounds like a plan. I'm going to move my guy over there then, too. Should we move them ahead first, the hirelings? Or just go in?
These
We can go
guys
in.
can.
I'm going to put
These
myself in there,
guys will
too.
go ahead and they'll move up as a group. Okay, now, Devlin and Frodo, as you guys get to where you are, I need to reveal a little bit more because you can see that there are two hallways. So there's a hallway that goes here and here and here and here and here.
Oh.
And then there's a hallway that goes here and here and here and here and here. And then at the end of this hallway down here to the south, it actually, I'm not going to reveal a whole lot, but it actually looks like it opens up into a chamber beyond. Here, you can tell that there's actually, I'll make it a little clearer by going a little bit deeper in.
Where's that Ethard at?
You can see that there's actually doors at the end of that hallway that are closed. Oh, Ethart. He's
going to be going. Let's send him into the cavern south.
He's got a strong morale.
Now there's a door here that you all can see, and there's a Devlin, there's kind of a scrambling noise that you can hear from over here. Whoops, I need to reposition for the stream so they can see where we are. There's a noise up here, and I will go ahead and reposition this.
Devlin's going to go and look at this arrow slit to see if he sees anything outside.
Okay. You get over there and you look outside, and you are distracted a little bit by some movement next to you. And the movement that distracts you next to you is of little furry bodies that scramble away in response to the presence of something large. You can see little, small, normal-sized rats that scurry away and try to find shadows to run into when you get over there. And that appears to be the noise that you heard. Is these little rats trying to sneak away, get out of the way. When you look out, you see there's a moat outside, and you see the marshy, tall marsh grasses beyond the moat. Not really anything exciting that you can see out there.
Say, gentlemen, we got some rats in here. If anybody feels brave enough to take on these mighty foes, you'd have my gratitude, and you'd prove yourself as a mighty warrior.
Are they big rats or are they small or can you?
They're just normal-sized rats.
So they're looking just to hide, not really to.
Right, they're looking to hide.
That's art.
Well, if you guys are asking them,
It might be rabid, something like that, you know.
Oh,
yeah, they will sort of move over here,
mhm.
and I am going to. Let me just. Okay, yeah. Right. I'm going to give these guys a couple of rolls. I'm going to see if they can do anything here. Oh, that's one. What?
Wow, 33.
What?
I think Roll20's having problems.
Oh, you know what? I think I clicked it too fast.
You might have hit it twice.
Yeah. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4,
Oh,
5. Okay. All right. So those guys go over there and they successfully boop. Boop. They get rid of 2 of the rats. The other rats scurry away into the darkness, and you do not see them again. So now let me take a look and see what they report finding over there. Ugh. Looks like some kind of big storeroom over here. You know, it's a bunch of junk and whatnot, and I think maybe there's a stairway here that heads down.
Perhaps we should come back to this after we check out the rest of the rooms, and then we'll descend down. What do you?
sounds like
Okay.
a plan.
That sounds good.
All right. Okay.
Look around the floor in there and see if there's anything of note in the floor other than the stairwell.
Whoops. That guy runs away. Anything over there of note? Give me a. Oh, no. Actually, give me a. It annoys me that there's not a spot hidden in this edition. I wanted. Let me just. Let me go ahead and say that's a. Yeah, let's call that a pickpocket roll. So pickpocket for Devlin, 20 or lower. All right. So if we go by the rules here, then
Oh,
very, very close. very close. So you don't notice anything in there. So you don't know whether there's anything in there or not. It just all kind of looks like broken stuff. Nothing of any value. It's like it leads you to believe that they had at one time stored like some food here, because there's several containers of food that used to hold food that have either been broken open or are laying on their sides and are clearly empty. Well, I say they're empty, but a couple of them have like little rat droppings in them, but nothing edible. So it just kind of all looks like junk at this point. There's nothing else that you can see. All right. So Devlin, you're heading down there.
Yeah, he's going to try to he's just checking for traps as he's heading down there, and then just casually, well, not casually, but carefully listen at each door, not opening the door or anything like that, but just listen at the door to hear, see if he.
Sure. Okay. You do have a nice ear noise. So let's see, what does Devlin hear? Oh, let's see if there's anything for Devlin to hear. In there. It's that area, so let me go see. Yeah, you hear a scrambling sound through the door, and there's a scrambling sound as of something very small, and then there is a larger and heavier kind of a funk sound, and the scrambling sound stops.
And that's coming from which door?
The door that Devlin is standing by.
And he is again trying to see.
Right here.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So yeah. There's something you heard, something scrambling around, maybe another rat or something in there, and then something went thunk and that noise stopped very abruptly.
So without opening the door, he's just going to check to see if it's locked.
Does not appear to be locked.
Okay. It seems to me, gentlemen, there's something moving around in that room to the north. If the captain would like to have his men take care of that.
What did you hear? Did you hear anything distinct that you can maybe make? Was it
it sounded like maybe could be rats, something like that, shuffling around, and then almost like it was annoying something. They were annoying something, and he like stomped on it or slammed a really big hand on it and squashed it or something. But it's the noise, the scrambling around stopped in there immediately, and there's probably something a little bit bigger than rats in there.
Perhaps the spider.
Should definitely send a couple of men over there for sure.
Could be trolls, could be ogres, Ents, titans, giants.
Okay, you keep talking like that, and the
Harlings,
the fighters they start looking around kind of nervously.
Come on, man, make a name for yourself. You can be legends from here to eternity. across all of the land. The man who slew whatever meat creature might be behind it.
Meat
We
creature.
don't want to lower their morale is high. Do they look really nervous? I mean,
They look kind of
he's
anxious. The more Devlin talks, the more nervous they get.
I says you have to understand Devlin. He's a man of many words, and he's just trying to keep your spirits high. He's just joking. There's probably nothing in that room. Maybe a few mice or rats, but can they smell anything from under the door? Is there any type of bad odor?
The whole place in here has kind of a stale and musty scent. So, I mean, there's nothing more so here than anywhere else.
I see that.
You know, gentlemen, it could, and more likely, if you think about it in your homes, what might pounce on a mouse or a rat in your house other than a cat, right? So please don't kill the cat if you see a cat in there. We don't want to kill little furry kitty cats. And that would definitely not make a name for yourself. But if it is something else, go ahead and take its head home as a trophy for yourself.
Okay.
Go on, man. It's time to make a name for yourself.
So Walter,
you are fighting men of the first order of the captain of the guard of Shelby. So let's show them what you're made of.
Okay, Frodo, are you standing away from everything?
I'm going to move up a little bit more. Just be down right over here.
Okay.
And I'm trying to tell them
Aethert says, "Hey, Walter, get your bow out. I'll push the door open. If there's anything in there, you shoot it." And Walter says, "Good idea." So Walter steps back over to the other side of the hallway.
Before they all open the door, I'm trying to do a quick bless, like a little prayer.
Oh, okay. They will allow you to do that. They'll take all the divine intervention that they can get.
I'm sure it's totally unnecessary, but always better to be cautious.
Okay, so
perhaps before this is all over, you'll have converted all of these brave.
Okay, as they open the door, they do in fact see a couple of dead rats, and what they see dining on the corpse of the dead rats is an enormous tick that is just sucking the blood out of one of these, and Aethert goes and he just like points, and Walter goes and he pulls his bow up and he says, "Big tick," and he shoots.
Oh.
So the tick is in the middle of trying to eat a meal. So the tick this time is not going to be able to surprise anybody because he's in the middle of eating. And we'll give him a turn. We'll give these two guys turns. We'll give the rest of the fighters turns. And then you guys can go ahead and roll initiative for yourselves.
Okay, let me find my sheet again quick.
Okay.
As Devlin stumbles over his shoestrings.
Yeah, okay. Let's take a look at the giant tick here. Let's see. All right, it's just going to get a normal initiative roll. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What? Oh, wrong. Now, how did that happen? Oh, sorry. That's why that happened. Now I know why it did it. I had a setting on the dice roller. I had it doing Shadowrun style. So if it gets a 6, it automatically keeps rolling. Or if it gets the highest number, it automatically keeps rolling and adding that to the result. So that's why that first D6 looks like a 10. And I think that's why that D20 from before was like a 35 or something like that. So 5, 6, 1, 4, 3. So this guy gets a 5. This guy gets a 6. This guy gets a 1. This guy gets a 4. This guy gets a 3. This guy gets a 1. Sri Wolf, you will go for some of those things. And then, Frodo, what was your...
5.
Yeah, but what's your dex score again?
Oh, my dex score is...
Was it a 14? I can't remember.
I think so. Let's see. Dex is 14.
Yeah, okay. All right. So now we'll put this into descending order. Okay. Before you go, Walter gets to attack because he has the surprise round.
It's just one tick, right?
That's all he can see right now.
Okay.
So he's gonna shoot. Oh, 16. 16 will hit an armor class 3. And this tick actually has an armor class 3. So then his arrow does D6. Does 6 points of damage. All right. So he says, I hit it. And then it is now a regular turn. Frodo, you get to act first.
Am I in the doorway that I can see? Can I move myself?
No, you are. Oh, whoops,
I'm right
I'm
over here,
sorry.
yep.
You're right here. So
Yep.
yeah, the door they're looking in is this door here. So you can move down the hallway if you want
I'm going to move down to seeing the door right there.
Okay.
Can I throw my mace back at him that I threw before?
Yes, you can.
I'm going to try to chuck it. Just a 1D.
You don't want to use like your bow and arrow or anything?
I can't
He
use a
doesn't.
pointed weapon.
Yeah, he doesn't have
I don't have
a
one.
bow and arrow.
So I'm going to roll a 1D20, right?
Yep.
So what do I just do? The 1D20 again?
1d20 plus 1
Plus
for
1.
your
So I got
dex.
to advance. Yep. 1D20 plus 1. 15.
15. Now you have an armor class, or you have a THACO of 19. So 18, 17, 16, 15. That would hit an armor class 4. The tick actually has an armor class of 3.
Miss.
So your mace goes out and it hits it and just sort of bounces off of its tough shell.
Damn.
And then the tick now sees, hey, there's somebody in the doorway. And it runs over towards you, and it's going to try to bite the cleric. Hey, guys, your cleric's getting bit, or might get bit. monster.
I think my AC is what? I forgot.
I think it's a 4. So let me see what your
Okay.
So let's see what its D20 roll is. Okay, 14. So it has a THACO of 17. So it hits an armor class 3. Will that hit you?
I think you hit me because I think I'm a 4, right? At least I gotta find my AC. Where's the AC again?
It's on a combat tab.
Gotcha.
Right, kind of down near middle of the page, over on the left.
Armor class 4.
Okay, so that will hit. So because it's a tick, it will deal 1d4 damage. And that deals 2 damage to the cleric.
Okay.
And it doesn't let go. Its little mouthpieces sink into the cleric and they start pumping like it's going to start sucking blood out of your cleric. And it's just going to stay latched on. Because next time around, it will do automatic damage if it's still alive.
Oh.
It will deal.
I got 5 points left. Exciting.
Yeah, it will deal automatic damage as it tries to drain your blood. Gauss. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, he can't get there, and he can't see it because it's in the cleric is in the way of the door. Devlin, what would you like to do? Your cleric is getting chewed on by a tick.
Now the spider seems preoccupied, so I'm going to come up and do my best to hit the tick in the back of the head with a blackjack and knock him. Not to appear brave or anything, because that far be it from Devlin to do that.
Okay, now the problem here is that with a melee weapon, you really can't get close enough because you got your fighter blocking the door, you got your cleric blocking the door, you got this other fighter here. Now you could shoot your crossbow at the tick. You'd get a penalty because you're trying to shoot around your cleric. But you could, if you wanted to attack, you could do that.
All right. Duck.
Okay. Oh! Okay. Now.
Nice.
Okay, normally that hits, but it's a -4 penalty. So instead of hitting an armor class 2, you actually hit an armor class 6.
Oh.
And so that that kind of glances off of the tick's armor, and it does not hit. So Exard is over here. He says, "Oh, I don't have a shot. I can't see it. All I can see is the cleric in the way." Sreewolf. That door over there is pretty crowded.
Yeah, it's pretty crowded. I'm not going to be able to get a shot. And so I think I'm just going to pretty much stay back here. I guess I'll move up just a little bit.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell, let's see, who's that up front there? Aethart and Walter.
Yeah.
have them to yell at them to physically, jump on it, not try to whack it with their sword, but use their wrestling or whatever skill they have to try to wrestle it off them.
Okay. All right. They say, yes, Captain. We're on it. And then, oh, okay. All right. Cine, whatever his name
Charlie,
is.
this might be my last battle. I have to leave
Okay.
soon.
Yeah. We're gonna be. I think we're gonna get to the end of this round, and then we're going to call it, and we will pick up at the start of the next round, next session. So he can't get anything. He's gonna pull his bow out and just wait to see if he's gonna be able to get a shot. And then Aethert says, "Hey Walter, give me a hand." And Walter says, "Sure thing." And they both grab onto the cleric, and they are going to try to.
And I'm muttering every prayer in the book to get me out of here.
Yeah, they are going to try to pull. And with the strength skill in this particular version of D&D, with the let me just go take a look and see what we have with our strength ability here. Class. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. So those two guys are going to. They have to have a combined strength contest against the tick. So it's their two strengths against the tick strength to see if they can do better. So these two guys, each of them gets a +1, so it's going to be 2d20 plus 2. That's a 25. And we will do it but that's pretty much academic because all right, that's a 5 for the tick. All right. These guys go, well, actually, Aethart backs up 10 feet, and he drags you with him.
Thank you. I'm praying to myself and saying thank you, to Walter.
And that's the end of the round.
That was cool. That was a great.
So we will pick up next time with Walter at the top of the turn, getting ready to shoot at the tick. And now that doorway is open, and we will see what happens there. All right, guys.
Great. Hey, thanks for playing, everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Jesse, thanks for joining us.
Yeah. I'm glad that we got another guy in the party.
Yeah. And so hopefully LC will be able to be back next week, and we will he will be able to join us. And we still have recruiting open for the game. And I think what I'm going to do, Jesse, for your benefit, I'll go ahead and let you play another session. And then I've told the other guys that, I mean, as far as I know, it sounds like you're getting along really well with everyone, but I'll just make sure everybody agrees. If you decide at some point you want to go ahead and convert your character over to a permanent character and roll up all the stats for yourself, we will go through that exercise at some point, probably after next session, and then transfer over any experience points that you gain to that new character, and any loot that you have or money that you've picked up during the campaign will go to that new character as well. So you're not starting all over from scratch with him. So I will send out the notes at the probably either during the weekend or first part of next week, and we'll get back, and we will be back here next Saturday. Next Saturday is not Thanksgiving weekend, but is anybody traveling starting next weekend for the holiday that you know
I
of?
should be able to play that Saturday. I'm not 100% yet, but it's looking pretty good for me.
Yeah,
But I'll let you know.
Yeah, I have nothing planned. I'm just going to the Lions game on Thanksgiving.
Okay. All right. So, all right, good. We will go ahead and have our session next week then, and I will talk to you all. Talk to you all later. Thanks very much for coming out and playing today, and for everybody who either was watching on the stream or will be watching during the week. Thank you for joining us for this first edition game that we call the History of D&D. Take care, everyone, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Have a nice weekend. Bye.
I think it's